Ndewono ndị Igbo mụrụ nze m ọzọ ụmụ Biafra anyị ji aga mba. If I by taa today is to discuss about the interaction on space that was held, I think that was the day before yesterday. It was a shadow of everything that is irresponsible, a shadow of everything that is not supposed to be heard in the Biafran struggle. People were clamoring, were asking questions about what the PM Simon Ekpa is doing. People were clamoring and were discussing on space for over 7 hours. And then the one person that you are discussing about chose to come to that space and respond to your questions. Instead of you to give him time to speak and address you and let you know, inundate you on the things that are happening and the things that he is doing as the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile, you could not give him that singular opportunity. You have been discussing about this person for over 7 hours. Little time that you will give to this person to speak to you, to address you, to tell your teeming listeners all they need to know. You stopped that. The Prime Minister Simon Ekpa came on his own without being invited because he has heard the rubbish that these people were pushing to the media. And he decided to come on his own to respond to their questions, to give them a background on what he has been doing and what is happening and the truth and the reality about everything. But these people could not even, give him little time to speak. That is to show you how our people are brainwashed. So-called people who are supposed to be educated. Let me play a bit of it because this issue was too long. Let me just play a little bit of it so that people can understand where we are coming from and where we are going to. Just listen.
That today you're going to hold this space. So thank you for giving your promise.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay, people to go. Okay, we can go down those. Yeah. Meanwhile, because when they now accept charging them, somebody muted you.
The Kalan meeting. Keponi Igbo and Negro, it liberate and Igbo. Some people get also better second in a Plateau State. Na Haman and this Nanya and Hamatran and Igbo because of the result of Igbo. Which result Igbo? Which result? Or jamming with the of your result. I think it's able to tomorrow not defend the end of the Prime
Minister Simon Ekpa because
but although the children so we have to go away for that space and now say those people in the poor and definitely not going need all when them are the hey jump and push not so anymore here I want them echo much begin every month every week have to cut out go behind with that from how on we're not doing it when I have to go to wherever you more here just defend the more hand that farm thing but I want them at the was he no be no Germany say afani ha mantra nonsense na Igbo han mantra ya o maka de won ibushi abo o ibushi ye bo an ha mantra ye so umu ihe nda na map am no everything so ni ha basra IPOB and ESN and Mazin and the Carlo including Simon Ekpa chipe on Biafra Republic government were government IPOB will not run as indigenous people of Biafra under the leadership of Biafra Republic government in exile. This thing is very simple to understand. So I'm going to use the mic at this point. Thank you.
Okay, Wanda, thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much. Simon Ekpa not here, so some of the questions are not that Junu Nazaro. Otu Simon on eba ọ ga-adị mma na mmaju ya direct so that ka ọ bụ na onwe asịsọ ọ ga-asa ọsa ọ bụkwa na onwe then that's fine. Simon, you're welcome. a lot of questions and a lot of misinformation or disinformation. No idea Basalo, especially maybe from if Basalo this referendum. One of and a this Biafra referendum. From just like Utuwanai Otumba Dike. Now from point A to point B. If all the care, if I need Pubo, if a Basalo this Biafra, just point B, Biafra, can with the Biafra. But then before with the Nabo Biafra, Kedifa Gabo or not Igbo. Or Siago now, or say Siazonafia, Sialonolo, Macanona abo, Ogobun Ekuto, Basalo Kage Sue, hold accountable, Ndenachi and Igbo. The governors, they represent both na state and federal level. If we can see where na more from the IPOB or the IPOB, more than support to the struggle. Or the kafa and afutanya bife as if na mana budu. So, Kedu position Biafran government in exile. Mwe Basalia, that's number one. Number two, Igaza Ajujua. On A and B, a bonye IPOP. Because for the one to get about for the neighbor, for the neighbor, for the where's if they can IPOP, they collapse to go IPOP. If was able Biafran Republic government in exile, now when oversees the whole affair. So no for and from your own tweet, none of this Jumbotron, it says no cannot identify as an IPOP member is a criminal, employed by the federal government. So respond to these two questions or three questions, then other people
be listening, be listening carefully.
Oh, thank you very much.
The Prime Minister is speaking now. Listen.
Melo. Good evening, Biafrans. Good evening, listeners and friends of Biafrans. My names are Ekpa Simon Njoku, the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic Government in Exile. And by the virtue of that, as a Prime Minister of Biafra, I will be speaking in English because what I'm about to address is not just to the Igbo people or Igbo-speaking Biafrans.
Listen to what the Prime Minister said. By virtue of his position as the Prime Minister of Biafra, he is going to be speaking in English. Because Biafra is not only about Igbo, Biafra is about every other tribes that make up the Biafra region. And as such, not every tribe speaks Igbo. And so he is going to speak in English for everybody to understand what he's saying, not just the Igbo people. And that is the position of unification of the Biafran people. Go ahead. We'll go ahead to listen to this. And you are going to see how they are going to bring up issues because of just speaking English, just to represent the whole Biafran people. Let's continue to listen to him.
Having said that, I have actually listened to some of the comments from Daniel Ebo to the other one with the red cap. Your questions are more of story, and I need to address it in details. But before I address, I'm going to come back to your question, and then so you can refrain yourself. Well, let me go straight to addressing this Daniel and the one with the red cap. Before that, I want you to know that nobody invited me here. I came to this space, and actually, this is my first time coming to a space that is not hosted by the Biafra government media team. So I came here uninvited because what I was listening to and hearing was turning my stomach. This Daniel Ebo probably is in love with Nigeria. He made reference to South Sudan. And this issue of South Sudan we have addressed severally. You cannot be comparing Biafra people with South Sudan. We have nothing to be compared about. We have nothing in common, both in our culture, understanding, value system, and everything that makes us human. We're all different people, so we can't be compared. And whether South Sudan failed shouldn't be a perimeter to measure whether Biafra people should be free from Nigeria or not.
Exactly.
When you talk about the
Exactly.
country that fails, also talk about those who actually succeeded. And they started doing well.
Yes.
That being said, those looking for answer from point A to point B, they have not been following Biafra government.
Exactly.
In exile.
Exactly.
They have also not been following the Biafra movement, and they never believe in Biafra. And it is normal.
Pure fact.
That we don't expect every Tom and Jerry to believe in their own freedom. There are people that are slaves, that are very comfortable being slaves.
Being slaves.
But every slave may not be comfortable being slaves.
Yes.
And that is what makes us human beings. So we respect opinion and the value of many people because of different understanding. And those who may be comfortable to be slaves, they will be comfortable. But those who may not be comfortable to continue to be slaves will never be comfortable. And when the slaves that are not comfortable overpowered the comfortable slave, the majority carries the vote. And that is what is going to play out in Biafra.
Democracy.
Having said that, I want to answer him by his whatever he meant by point A to B. First of all, I joined the Biafra struggle in 2019. Before then, I was a diehard Nigerian, just like as stupid as he sound here. Everybody here, most of you here are diehard Nigeria. I have been there. I have represented Nigeria. I have suffered for Nigeria. I don't think he has actually done anything for Nigeria in his whole life. I carried Nigeria flag, wear Nigeria color, suffered myself to bring the image of Nigeria to the world. And I did it very, very well. Coming to understand that Nigeria was just designed for some special interest. And seeing how my people were being killed, massacred every day. And all they could do on social media is to cry and complain. And nobody paid attention to them. I started looking for a way to help my people. I went to Germany, where Igbo was invited.
Okay.
Then I was the leader of Igbo in Finland. For those who think that Simon Ekpa does not love Igbo, you can go and ask question what I did to Igbo image in Finland while I was the chairman of Igbo Union in Finland for 4 years. From 2015 to 2019, I was the leader of Igbo in Finland.
Mr. Joseph, this is a program that was held, I think it was 2 days ago or so, and it was really stomach upsetting, and it was annoying to hear people at this point in time that people are trying to get over the atrocities of these Fulani people, and some Igbo people are still in the dark, not knowing the realities on ground. And they claim to be people who reside outside the shores of Nigeria.
Today they're going to hold this place. So
they claim to be people who reside outside Nigerian shores, and they are still brainwashed into believing that the Igbos are the one perpetrating the evil in Igbo land. And so Simon Ekpa came to respond to them, and they were still confused. You could see that these people had intentions. And that is why we are bringing this program to our channel today to, and let people understand the kind of mentality that some persons may have. So that you don't meet people tomorrow and you begin to think that these people are educated people that can reason fine. May I remind you that foolish people also grow old. So you don't expect everybody to be, sound in reasoning and mind. So that is why we are here to try to show our people the kind of mentality of those who claim, to be, enlightened and who live outside the shores of the country. So it is not actually a program that was hosted today or is ongoing today. It's not like the Prime Minister is speaking currently, but it was something he spoke, I think that was yesterday or so. So we are trying to bring it to our listeners to understand what is actually happening and how the Prime Minister addresses people, and for you to also see the reasoning capacity of some of these people who claim, to be enlightened, who claim to be one Nigerianists, who claim to be Igbo representatives. Yet they could not differentiate between Igbo and Biafrans, to know that it is not only Igbos that make up Biafra. So thank you, Mr. Joseph. Let's continue.
I started looking for a way to help my people. I went to Germany, where Ekoremadu was invited. Then I was the leader of Igbo in Finland. For those who think that Simon Ekpa does not love Igbo, you can go and ask question what I did to Igbo image in Finland while I was the chairman of Igbo Union in Finland for 4 years. From 2015 to 2019, I was the leader of Igbo in Finland. I was in Germany, where Ekoremadu was beaten up, assaulted as a one Nigerianist. Though, by that time, I already made up my mind for Biafra, but not completely. I never had anything to do with Ekoremadu. I have never spoken with Ekoremadu in my life. I don't have his number. He don't have my number. We have never spoken to each other. I don't know. I don't even know how he looked like. As a matter of fact.
Okay, sorry.
So please, I need to lay a background. It is very important. I'm here so that you can understand. Sorry.
Yeah, just 1 second. I need you to kind of make it straightforward because
you see, let me tell you, the magnitude of the issue we are sorting here is not issue of straightforward. You need to have a background of myself.
Hear what I'm saying? Because I'm not when they never challenge you questions. Or when they're not here, I want to respond to things so that it wouldn't be.
Like I said, you did not invite me here, right?
Yeah,
I came uninvited. Is it that you allow me to talk or I leave?
That's fine if you would want to leave, but then we have to ask you question if you want to.
You are going to ask question. Listen to me. You are going to ask question. I'm not saying that, but let me give you background first because there are a lot of things that have been said here that you don't know anything about.
Okay, listen so that you can hear what I'm saying. What you are saying is fine, but I want you to understand that why you are saying them because of time constraints. You need to also factor the fact when they challenge you questions so that we won't just stay and be listening.
All right.
So you can respond to those questions. That's what I'm saying. So go ahead.
All right.
These people have lasted on this space for about 7 hours before the Prime Minister came in to respond to their questions. They have been discussing about Simon Ekpa for the past 7 hours. And the person you are talking about is now on your space to, give you a clearer view of what is happening. You cannot even give him little time for him to talk. That should show you the bias in their minds. First of all, you need to know that there is already a bias already in their minds. Because for you to be discussing about someone for over 7 hours and the person shows up to respond to certain questions that you've been asking that you know nothing about, and you can't even give that person, few minutes or 30 minutes or 1 hour to speak. When you go to space that are well organized, people who reason fine, they would, when you have a guest like this, someone you want to talk about, and the person comes into your show, you give the person, say, 30 minutes, 1 hour, let the person lay a background, let the person talk about himself, let the person, talk to the audience and tell them what he or she is actually doing before they begin to give questions, they begin to ask questions. But this one, they don't even want to listen and try to get something from him first before asking questions from what he has said. They just want to be asking questions about what they've been saying all around media. And these things do not work that way. Yet the Prime Minister was kind enough to say, okay, let us go into the questions, ask questions, and let me respond to your questions. But you still see that there is an in-depth, bias in their minds already. Let's continue.
All right, I will not go into this background that I wanted to lay now. Let me go straight to addressing the point A to point B. First of all, when I came into this struggle in 2019, as I know that Nigeria as a failed state and which will never work again, I decided to bring out my best to liberate Biafra people from Nigeria. And of course, I prayed to God to give me the opportunity to deal with Nigeria the way they have dealt with my people for decades. I joined the IPOB, started broadcasting. And of course, every one of them recognized what I was doing and were happy until Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped from Kenya. Because they know, some of them know my background from Finland. Those who are in Finland here, they know me very well and they know what I can do. They connived with the then defunct leadership of IPOB that if they allow this guy, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. So, and because they know I was not part of those who sabotage Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in Kenya, they know I could be one of the biggest obstacles, which I am. And then, as God have it, after they kidnapped Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the opportunity that I prayed for to deal with Nigeria the way they have dealt with my people before we can now liberate Biafra, the opportunity came. And here we are today. We have been able to set up the government in exile, which is to restore the Biafra Republic government in exile, which went to exile from 1970. It is a process. That is from A. The A is that after the Biafra War, the people that fought Biafra War, many of them flee to exile. They carried that government with them to exile. From 1970 to 2019. From 2019 to 2021, when I joined the Biafra struggle, from 2021, when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, I started working how to move from A to B by restoring the government in exile. As you may know, after Owaziri case, Masob, there was something called Biafra Government in Exile, founded by Professor Elekwachi. I contacted Professor Elekwachi, consulted with him, how we can resurrect the Biafra Government in Exile. Professor Elekwachi told me, oh, the government is still there. It is now in the hands of some younger people and all that. I said, introduce me to them. Professor Lekwachi introduced me to them, and they stay in London, in the United Kingdom. I contacted them. I said, this is what is going on. We have the possibility to collapse everything under Biafra government and restore Biafra. And I have the template, how to get Biafra. They thought I was joking. I gave them a very, very long time to convince me that they are real. They forced it at home. They kicked against it. I explained why we must continue to sit at home, even though it doesn't go well with our people. They said, I have a point. We continued. Another sit at home, they kicked against it. In fact, they kicked against everything we were doing until the election of 2023. I told them, we are going to start by delegitimizing the Nigeria within Biafra land. Sorry, I have to block somebody that is disturbing me. That we have to start by delegitimizing Nigeria within the Biafra territory. it is one of the measures that we are going to use to kickstart the liberation of Biafra. They said, oh, Obi is going to be president, Obi have potential, blah, blah, blah. I told them, the information I have, you don't have it. Obi is never coming out to become a president. Obi is coming because of the momentum the Britain have seen that we are gathering in the Biafra movement. Exactly. And they see that I am not a no-nonsense person. When I say something, it is whatever it is going to take to achieve it, I'm going to achieve it. They said, oh, let us try Obi. I said, I am not going to try Obi. It is either you are in for Biafra or you are out.
Okay.
So let me, please. If honestly, I will invite people. I will invite those who will want to hear my answer to their question here to my platform, so I can relax and explain to them. You don't just cut me when I'm talking.
No. I have to interject.
Bro, you spent hours in this talking.
I don't understand what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Hey, no. Starman, please. Starman, please.
Exactly what Starman.
Starman
told them, if you spent hours talking about this guy, allow him to speak now. He's just speaking for less than 15 minutes, and you are already, but you spent hours talking about him, and he's here now. You can't even allow him to speak. That's exactly what Starman was trying to let them know.
Let's be more interjected. Because but when you try to interject Simon is still so that he can respond to questions, because it's more like we left the space for you to talk. But this is a space here.
This is the person you've been talking about all this
with other people, not just one person speaking.
These guys.
And like I said, I'm a no when they're not here. Troy, okay. Some of these things you are saying, a lot of us know it already. So when if I trouble those questions, Anna Joe, since you are here as the Prime Minister, can you get the question direct? Then you can respond to it, because this foundation you are laying, most of us know about it. But the questions we are asking is what we want you to respond to, not necessarily the foundation you are laying. We're already conversant with the foundation. Some of us are actually well informed about the foundations you are laying, someone like me. So the questions are what we are concerned about, and that is what we want you to respond to. So that was why I interjected. So please respond to the questions, and then if you want to take more questions, that's fine. We can give you some other people can. If you want to ask him questions, you can comment so that I can ask you, I can read it out, because everybody must not come up here to ask him that question. So write your question in the comment section so that we can ask him direct questions and let's hear from him. So Simon, go ahead. You have the floor now. So please respond to the questions. Can we move forward?
Please, if you are very conversant with the background I'm trying to lay, why did you not answer the man on the red cap? What do we mean by how we have moved from point A to point B?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because apparently the position you take and the position your followers do take does not represent what you're trying to pay.
Because I was not here. I was not here when it was
exactly
saying,
so
when it was saying that, but I listened to it. And so if you know the background, why did you not address him?
No. I don't have to, because he's asking you that question.
He did not ask me that question. He said the question that have been asked.
Okay, Chair. Fine, if he doesn't want to answer the question, I can go ahead.
What question, please? Can you answer your question? What is the question?
Okay.
Good evening, Mr. Simon. You called my name here. My name is Daniel Lemo. Okay, and then I'm co-hosting this space. I'm an Igbo man, just like you. I asked a very simple question, and with my reference to South Sudan, I wasn't comparing Igbo people to the people of Sudan. I was talking about processes for self-determination and things that lead to referendum. Since 1999, we've had MASOP. MASOP was pursuing Biafra agitation.
What's your question, please?
We're directly involved. It took years before the referendum came into place.
Now let me answer you. First of all, Nigeria is a very complicated country with a very dangerous diversity, and we are not going to fight the way other people fought. We have designed our own way how to fight our own freedom against Nigeria, because Nigeria is a very, very fragile state. We have this diversity that the way Nigeria was structured is structured in a way that nobody can ever rise against the state. And today, we have been able to break that jinx, that people can forfeit even doing business in order to express themselves, to show how angry they are. So our roadmap to Biafra is, first of all, creating international awareness by delegitimizing the Nigeria government within Biafra land. Those nations you mentioned, something necessitated the international community to start discussing about them.
Listen
what
carefully.
Was it? Conflict.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? Violence.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? Battle.
Mm-hmm.
South Sudan fought for over 30 years.
Yes.
Before the referendum. So if there were no fight, nobody will listen to them. Now, Nigeria have been designed in a way that you must not rise above the political elite.
Mm-hmm. Which is true.
And if you rise above them, they will suppress you down.
Very
if you go
true.
to the street to demonstrate, they will suppress you down.
Very
they will kill
true.
you. You have seen them killing innocent Biafrans, especially in the IPOB demonstrators.
Very true.
In Aba, they massacred over 150 persons. Nobody did anything. So now, me having a military experience and how to fight Nigeria, because I know Nigeria very well, better than all of you, and you can attest to that with our activities today. I discovered that the only way is to defend Biafra people and fight Nigeria in guerrilla warfare. And in addition to that, we started by making sure that Biafra sit at home so that it will be part of the mechanism we are going to use to present to the international community that Biafra have rejected Nigeria. And that is a very well accepted democratic process anywhere in the world. Civil disobedience. Of course, with the Nigeria agents like you and many of you who will think that people are being forced to stay at home, while somebody is here telling you how he is driving on Monday and nobody have harassed him. At the same time, he said that people are afraid of going out. But he has been driving, according to him, and nobody have harassed him, nobody have killed him, nobody have kidnapped him, but he is driving and is confessing here how he's doing that, and nobody have harassed him. So what I'm trying to say here is that this sit at home is one of the mechanisms to prove to the world that Biafrans are indeed tired of Nigeria and they are no longer loyal to the government. The evidences are there. The governors of each state have done everything to stop the modern sit at home. They did not succeed. They threatened to sack them. The workers did not succeed. They threatened that anybody that did not open his shop or her shop will be closed down. It did not succeed. It is a vote of no confidence and it's a referendum
on its own.
Mm-hmm. So we use this now to call the attention, first of all, to awaken the spirit of every indigenous person in Nigeria that, look, we can do undoable to make sure our voices are heard, to make sure that we put these political criminals on their toe. And you cannot look at what we're doing today. You will not thank us that we actually put them on their toe. Because President Bola Tinubu can travel from Nigeria to Germany to complain about the activity of Simon Ekpa to the German Chancellor. It happened. The Chief of Army Staff can go to the National Assembly for the very first time in the history of Nigeria to cry. During the time of Wazirike and before Mazi Nnamdi Kanu were kidnapped, there has never been any discussion to such magnitude where every security chief in Nigeria went to the National Assembly and started crying. It happened right before your very own eye because we have built and unveiled a very powerful and strong army. with our little